Hey guys, Claire here with Jumprope Revival, where we're here to train body and soul. In today's video, I'm going to break down one of the most popular jump rope tricks and give you some awesome tips on how to learn the crisscross. I always begin with a devotion, and today's comes from Psalms chapter 46, verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. Wow, to be still and to know God. How comforting and reassuring does that sound? I know it does to me. A lot of times in life, whether we're raising children or whether we're learning a new jump rope trick like we're about to, a lot of times we set unrealistic expectations for ourselves and we are like striving for perfection, and we get so wrapped up in that process that we miss out on a lot of things and we don't get to enjoy it. We need to learn to just be. To be still, step back, get perspective, get in tune with God. God is our refuge and God is our strength. And when we learn to be still, just be, and to know, that is where we will find peace and comfort and get to enjoy things. So now what I'm about to show you is one of the most popular jump rope tricks, called the crisscross. It's also known as the crossover. Now before I get into that, I'd first like to go over a few things that you need to have in place before we begin. The first thing is to size your rope. Now to size your rope, you want to step into the center of the rope, pull it up towards your chest, and make sure that the handles reach somewhere between your underarms to the tops of your shoulders. Now as you advance, that may change and you may shorten your rope, but as a beginner and for first learning, the top of your shoulders is the best height. The next thing is the type of rope you're using. Now yes, you could use any rope will work. However, I suggest a heavier rope such as the 1/4 pound cross rope or the 1/2 pound cross rope. Reason being is that heavier ropes provide a feedback, and also the rope will do most of the work. The last thing you need to have in place is your regular bounce and proper form. I'll link up here my video for proper form that will help you with your regular bounce. I suggest you get that down consistently before you add in crisscross or any other type of trick, because regular bounce is the foundation of most tricks. Now we can get into the tips for the crisscross. So let's get started with our hands. Now you want to find which hand is going to go on top and which hand is going to go on bottom. So usually it's the dominant hand that goes on top. I'm right-handed, so my right hand will go on top. But for you, you might be comfortable with your left. So just do that to figure out which hand feels the most comfortable for you. As you advance, you should be able to do both, but for sake of beginning and learning, choose one that feels the most comfortable for you. Now, hand placement on the ropes, on the handles. You want to have your thumb pointed down the handle towards the rope. Now when you cross, you want to cross at your elbows. Now the reason you want to cross at your elbows is because it gives you the maximum width of the rope to be able to get your legs through. Sometimes when people cross at their wrists, you can see that there's not as much room, or even at their forearms, there's not enough room. So when you reach out to your elbows and you're taking your hands and you're putting them past your hips and even past your shoulders, it gives you the maximum width. Now when you do this, note that your shoulders kind of cave in while you're reaching out to get your elbows together. Now that's okay. Yes, it's taking you slightly out of the regular bounce form, but it's okay because you're getting that maximum width to jump. The next one is when you're crossing, you want to cross at your waist level, like your belly button level. And when you're crossing, you kind of want to hug yourself. Is a good way to describe it. Another way is that you can think of that there's a shelf there on your waist. So when you're crossing, you want to keep, and uncrossing, you want to keep your arms on that shelf. Next, we want to talk about our wrists. Now, when you're crossing at your elbows, you want to keep your wrists parallel and straight to the ground. If you have them tilted up, you can see how the rope pulls up, so it allows you to trip on the rope because the rope's not going underneath your feet. And if you have your wrists pointed down, it gives too much drag of the rope, which can cause you to trip as well. The next thing is wrist rotation. Now I showed you how to hold the handles before with your thumbs pointed towards the rope. Now what you want to do with your wrist rotation is when you're going back into the cross, you want to point your thumbs backwards to the back of you. So you want to point them back. And then when you're coming forward, you want to rotate your wrists almost like a circle and then point forward as you're uncrossing. So point back, point forward. And it's almost as if you're also making a figure eight, some people say. So point your thumbs back, point them forward. Which then brings me to your elbows and your forearms. Now, your elbows, you want to keep that proper form to where your elbows are in. Sometimes people, you'll see them doing crisscross and their elbows go out from their body. Well, you can see what that does to the rope. So that wouldn't work. So you want to keep them in, close to your body. And it's basically your forearms and your wrists that are doing the work. It's your forearms that are crossing and uncrossing. So you want to rotate them over like that and keep your elbows in to your body. Once you start flailing them out, it changes the shape of the rope and causes you to trip. So now what you want to do is practice. Take everything we said and put it all together. Now I suggest what you do is to get the crossing motion down first. So as the rope comes over your head, you want to cross it and then catch it underneath your feet, just so that you can look at your form and know that the rope is going to go underneath your feet. So do that several times, and then once you have that down, then you know you can add in the uncross. So now you want to add in the uncross. So we'll cross, uncross, cross, uncross. And just once you get that down, cross, uncross. Just keep doing that till you get that down. Once you get that down, then I suggest you do a couple regular bounces, a crisscross, a couple regular bounces, a crisscross, and so on. Regular, regular, cross, regular, regular, cross. Then once you have that down, then you can do consecutive crisscrosses. Like that. Now for a couple bonus tips. It always helps to count when you're crossing and uncrossing. So on the cross, you want to count 1, and on the uncross, you want to count 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. The other one is that it's easier to learn the crisscross while doing run in place. Now if you don't know how to do run in place, I'll link up here my video on some basic tricks that include the run in place. The reason it's easier to do while doing the run in place is because you're only on one foot in the run in place when you're crossing. So it allows room for error if you don't get a wide enough cross to allow both feet to pass through. Because in run in place, you're on one foot, so only one foot has to pass through. The other bonus for that is that it allows you to go faster while you're doing run in place crisscross. So that's the crisscross. Be sure to grab your rope and give it a try. Now I know it can be frustrating, but remember, we need to be still and enjoy. Please be sure to let me know in the comments below how these tips worked for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and also be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can receive more videos like this and some workouts. I also have linked up below my Instagram and Facebook accounts where you can follow me. Once again, I'm Claire Bozeman. Thanks for joining me, and as always, have a blessed day, and let's get training.